David Wildstein is the editor of the New Jersey Globe and a political blogger. He joins me now to talk about all things political in the Garden State. Jim McGreevy is thinking about running for Jersey City mayor. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I think he is a great candidate. I think he's going to go for it. I know he's very posturing right now and saying I'm considering it. I think he's going for it. I think he's got a fire in his belly that I haven't seen in a long time. It's like watching the old Jim McGreevy again back in the 90s and the early 2000s. He is ready. He's done everything he's got to do to put him into a position, and I think he's looking for some redemption. I think he's going to be a very strong candidate.
So do you think he can win?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know, those of us like you who've been watching Jim McGreevy for close to 30 years now. I mean, one thing you don't ever lose is just that genuine ability to campaign and connect with people that he's always had. And if anything, he's just honed his skills even more. I think he's just going to be an extraordinary candidate.
But do you think that Steve Fulop, the present mayor of Jersey City, who we both know is running for governor, will support him?
You know, that's too early. I think there's other candidates that Mayor Fulop might want ahead of Jim McGreevy. There's other people that are interested, but I think Fulop's going to focus on running statewide, and to do that effectively, it's not to micromanage the city you're getting ready to leave.
Do you think that Jim McGreevy can win?
Yes, I do.
Because?
I think he can win because he can connect with voters, because he's got experience, because he's got a vision for what Jersey City ought to be, and he's lived there for a long time now. It's not like he's moving into Jersey City just to run for something else. He's been living there for a while. He's been involved in the community, and you know, you can never this early call a race decisively, but if he decides to run, he's going to be a formidable candidate.
So let's talk about another Jersey politician that you may have some familiarity with, Chris Christie, who wants to run for president. Good idea, bad idea? What's going on with that?
You know, it's a horrible idea for New Jersey and for America. It's probably a good idea for Chris Christie. He needs to stay in the limelight. He needs to be relevant. I think he's looking for something from someone. I mean, it's never been a secret that he wants to be president, but short of the presidency, he'd like to be vice president or attorney general. And I think he is looking at how he can leverage this particular campaign in order to put him in a better position than he's in right now.
But what about the strategy of just totally savaging Donald Trump? Is that a winning strategy in Republican circles? You
know, it may not be a winning strategy for him, but somebody's got to take down Trump if they're going to defeat Trump for the nomination. Right now, he's got a huge lead. And if you remember back to that New Hampshire debate right before the 2016 primary, it looked like Marco Rubio was starting to come on strong, and Christie savaged Rubio. Christie played a big role in taking Rubio down and stunting that.
But so did Donald Trump, though.
Excuse me?
I said Donald Trump also tried to savage Rubio.
Sure did. But it was Christie that at that debate showed people that Marco Rubio wasn't the guy to take Trump down.
So, but here's the question. Do you think that the indictment of Donald Trump, the most recent indictment on the documents case, and the other cases that are coming down the pike, plus the fact that he's been indicted in Manhattan on the Stormy Daniels case, plus the fact that the New York State Attorney General has a civil case against him, does that damage Trump at all in Republican Party circles?
So that's the crazy thing about politics in the 21st century, is that it doesn't. You'd think it would, because I'm doing this a long time. This is my 50th year in New Jersey politics, and you would imagine that these kinds of situations would be disqualifying for somebody to run for any office, yet alone the presidency. But we're in a time where sort of this bizarro land kind of an era where the worse it gets for him, the stronger his support grows, the more money he raises. And it's crazy to think that, but no, I don't think this is at this point hurting him.
But so why are so many Republicans running?
Because there's a belief. First of all, I mean, this may sound incredibly naive for me to say, but the only certainty that I know of in a presidential race is you can't get elected president if you don't run for president. So people are getting in, they're testing their waters. It's still very early. Not all these people that are in right now will still be in the race by the time Republicans start to vote in early 2024. But they're going to see if there's an opportunity, if something happens, if Trump stumbles, where there's a chance for them to be positioned to win the nomination. See,
but here's the thing that I don't understand. If there's a segment of the Republican Party that would like to have a different candidate, and if you take a look at right now, the fact that mostly, if you ask Republicans, Trump has about 30 to 40%, depending on the poll. So if you have 10 other candidates splitting the remaining 70 or 60%, doesn't make any sense. I mean, if the goal is to have a different candidate, don't you need just one person to go mano a mano with Trump to see if there's another possibility?
Yeah, I think you're right. But I think it's too early to have that one-on-one matchup right now. And that's what the rest of 23 and that's what the debates are going to get you. And that's what early fundraising numbers and endorsements will show is how does that field winnow out? You know, you look at the last Democratic race it was really a 2019 pre-race to 2020. You had a lot of candidates like Cory Booker from New Jersey who gave it his best shot, built up a lot of support, but it wasn't there. So he dropped out before the voting began, and there were less people on the ballot by the time voters went in to actually cast their votes.
So we only have about 30 seconds left, but I do have one question. Do you think there's a possibility that the feds might move Donald Trump's trial to New Jersey because there were some documents at his Bedminster club?
I have a little experience with this, and I don't think so. I mean, this has been that jurisdiction, and I think it's going to stay in Florida.
You think, but to think that if Florida, he can get a better, I mean, Florida has more Republicans. Do you think that it'll be easier or harder to convict him or find him innocent?
That's
15 seconds.
That's up to the U.S. attorneys to decide, and the Justice Department. I don't know, and I haven't seen their case.
David Wildstein, thank you so much. We're going to have to leave it there for now, but we'll be right back.